Hey there, restaurant owners. My name is Ewan Fitzgerald. I'm the founder of Tulane Agency. We work with restaurants to create better experiences for guests, build online systems that acquire new customers, create and make your restaurants more profitable, and finally, build digital stories that last for a long, long time. And I'm quite new to making videos, but I know I can deliver a bunch of value because I know a bunch about this stuff. And without further ado, let's hop into the computer. So what we're going to uncover or cover in this presentation is understanding the psychological principles of advertising, curating a social media presence, how to use chatbots and automated CRM services, how you can run ads that differentiate your company. And we're going to go pretty in depth, so stick with me because it gets really good. All right, so let's hop in. So the first psychological principle that I think is super important with restaurants, and the numbers behind the marketing would also agree, is social proof. And just looking over the slide, we have an influencer tagging carbone fine food. We have another influencer tagging carbone fine food and promoting their marinara sauce. But at a deeper level, these are all socially driven interactions that fill up a brand's sort of hemisphere in their digital presence. And so what happens is you end up with a massive number of followers, verification, and a multitude of Google reviews. And it's because of these reviews that customer choices become easier. I like the example of the surgeon who's fresh out of school, but the point of good social proof in your restaurant is that it makes a customer's choice easier, right? And so in the same way, you wouldn't go to a surgeon that's freshly graduated out of medical school. Like, for me personally, I'd rather go to a surgeon that's done 10,000 surgeries. It's the same with restaurants. Social proof goes across all marketing, and it's a super important principle to understand if you're going to market your restaurant. So here we have differentiating yourself. This comes down to the choices between the difference between many and few. And so with restaurants, they tend to post online. They have Google My Business, and they think, well, that's enough. Maybe I'll promote it. Maybe I'll get some more reviews to it. But what happens is that when people go to search for a restaurant near me on Google, there's so many options. And so what you're trying to do with good marketing is create a single choice for a customer, right? And so when you use platforms like Facebook or Instagram and you drive ads, like this ad here, which is actually not even an ad, it's just a story to their followers, they are driving reservations through a single point of there's only one point of choice. And so what I mean by that is that it's like if you could only choose one thing for Christmas, it will be a lot easier to choose that one thing. Because if you don't choose it, you're getting nothing else. It's the same thing with marketing. You want to drive single points of choice because it makes it easier to differentiate yourself in the market. So that's differentiating yourself. Let's continue. Reciprocation. And out of all the marketing psychological principles, I think reciprocation is one of the greatest ones. Our society has been built on the trust that we feel between each other when we give. And so if you can find a way to give in your community, give back to people around you, it will come back in multitudes later on. And here in the slide, we have a restaurant that's sending a personalized birthday message, which is a great way to engage customers. And we'll talk about how to use a CRM system later on to actually build these messages. But for now, you can see that it is part of reciprocating, and they're giving a free dessert as well. Carbone is actually giving away their recipes so that people go and cook at home and use their sauce, which is awesome. And so if you can find a way to give, I think you're on the right track in any restaurant, and you will receive far more enjoyment from the things that you do if you can just find a way to give. You can see that the best restaurants are always booked out. And it actually creates this positive forward cycle of people worrying that they're not going to be able to get a reservation and then reserving early. And so like Carbone is booked out for 2 months, and it's because there's scarcity around their reservation system. Now, you may not be Carbone, and that's totally understandable. What you can do is offer scarce menu items and unique dining experiences. So you could build a seasonal menu, or unique dining experience could be a backyard barbecue one day, or there's so many different ways to build these experiences. And then once you have a platform, you can get people to come to your events, and that is the key portion of what I'm teaching you guys today. So let's continue on. Storytelling and emotional appeal. And this is from a great website in London, a restaurant website, and they are talking about where they source their food from. And I think that it is important to tell your story, because your differences are what make you you. And it is great when you're trying to market to people to be different. And if you try to appeal to everyone, you will appeal to no one. But if you appeal to a select few who understand and deeply connect with your brand through your storytelling, you build a customer base that is far more loyal, will be repeat customers for their entire lives, and you curate a better emotional experience, because at the end of the day, that is the deeper root of serving good food, is the back end, the story, where the food came from. And if you are a restaurant and you're serving organic food, nobody will know unless you tell them. So tell your story, get it out there, get it on as many digital platforms as you can, and curate it so that it's easy to read and the copy is well written. And that's more a principle of marketing that we would cover for you. All right, so we've gone over psychological principles. I hope that helps you understand the sort of high-level overview of marketing and what it looks like to curate a great experience for your customer, and the different ways that you can use psychological principles to get people in the door. Continuing on. So the next slide is going to be on crafting your social media presence. And I think that there's no better way to explain this than by showing you what great social media looks like. And when we design social media at Tulin, we like to ask, what does great look like, and how can we do it better? And the thing about it is that great isn't posting a lot. And this is where a lot of restaurants get confused, is they post volume, they don't curate their content. And so as a chef, you would understand that you have to spend many, many hours creating and testing the best elements to put into your dish. Social media is the same. And if you're trying to build a brand that has lasting impact, you need to curate your digital experiences. And so here we have some examples, obviously, of some of the restaurants that I think have done an amazing job of building social medias, and you can go check them out on your own. This is another key pointer in building out your online presence, and it's consistency and branding. And so what a lot of restaurants do is they have a different colored website linked to a completely different logo on their Facebook and different pictures on their Instagram. And what happens is that it ruins the customer experience online. And so to curate and build a brand online, you have to apply consistency to all your platforms. So your website and your Facebook and your Instagram and your LinkedIn, and every touch point that a customer may interact with needs to be the same, because it builds brand recognition and trust. So let's continue on, because there's a bunch more slides and it gets even more exciting. All right, so our notes. And this is where I'm just going to go over and cover some things that I think are super important. The best analogy and the best story I can give is, there has never been in known history a great palace or empire that put a shack at its entrance. And so when you build and create bad digital presences online, what you're doing is you're putting a shack at the entrance to your kingdom. And every single customer that shows up to that palace or your restaurant, before they even get there, they're being hit with this awful experience. And it completely ruins the taste of what your restaurant is, and that this is the best story I can give on why it is important to curate your online presence. So let's continue on. Ways to curate social media and branding. And this is sort of an in-depth review of a couple pages. This company does online suite sales. And so they just sell products online, and they have a shop, I think, in New York, but they're doing it with great success. And you can see that they theme their social media with the color pink. And they serve a multitude of different foods, but on social media, they're consistently posting reels that go extremely viral. And it is because they have themed and they are consistent in what they post. Now, this is a restaurant that has just used the color red, and you can see their branding. The fries look really good. This is a food shot that I think really portrays a great meal at a great restaurant. And yeah, you guys probably know what some pieces or pictures from other people's social medias that have gone really viral. Those are the ones that you're trying to replicate in your restaurant, because at the end of the day, you're trying to become like these other restaurants that are doing these great things online. And so we could look at great examples of social media all day, but this is the honest truth. And I like looking at stuff that looks terrible, because at the end of the day, it's better, and it gives you a point of recognition where you can be like, wow, okay, I can just do better than this, and that will put me in the right direction. And so this company clearly has no care for their customers online, and has just slathered their social media page in their brand now and promotions. And that's great for them, but I don't want to look at this. I don't want to associate with this, and I don't want to be tagged in any post or tag them. Even if they have the best food, if I took a picture of my food and looked at their social media and saw this, I do not want to associate that with that. And so when you curate a great brand, it puts people and frames them in a way that pushes them to tag you and interact with your brand online, because they want to be associated with good stuff, and in most cases the best. And that's why luxury brands get so much interaction on their posts, is because they've curated their brand to a point where people want to be associated with them because of the images behind and the emotional appeal behind their company. Creating iconic. And this is something that a lot of marketing agencies today don't do anymore, and you don't see as much, because, again, across the board, most companies want to create volume, but you can stand out. And I think creating iconic is a marketing agency's job at the end of the day, because if you can create iconic, you can create a lasting impression and build a brand that will last beyond your years. And I think that if we can create iconic through marketing, we will bring back many of the greatest pieces of marketing that have been lost to the 21st century. All right, so that's my high-level overview of social media. I think that all those points are great and will help you get on the right track to making your social media better. The next stuff that we're going to cover is the more nitty-gritty of marketing. And this is where it gets really fun, because you can build a responsive customer interaction online that's completely automated. And this is where technology, the cutting edge of technology, comes into play and really affects your restaurant. And a lot of restaurants are switching to this because they see the value in the time that they get back from not having to interact with customers all the time, and the time that the amount of intricate and nuanced customer interaction that they get from using chatbots and CRM services. And so let me explain. I know some of you may not know what that is, and some of you may already have it implemented in your brand. So what is a CRM system? It's the home for all your digital apps and interactions. So this is where everything flows, and you can see if you didn't have to open 10 different apps to check all your social medias in the morning, it would be a lot easier, right? Well, that's what a CRM system does. It even manages your finances, your website, your Google reviews, and it makes the time that you spend online that much more effective. And I think that's super important in the digital age where your time is important, and if you can put more time back into your restaurant and less time into the digital side of your business, you will have a more effective restaurant. Building a database. And so this is really highlights old marketing versus new marketing, especially in the restaurant industry, but just overall. And so old marketing, you pay for ad placements in newspapers, billboards, all over the place. And what would happen is that you'd pay for a billboard ad, customers would come in, customer leaves, and then what happens after that is that you're stuck and you have to buy another billboard ad to get more customers in the door. And so it's this vicious cycle of price where you're constantly dumping in money to get new customers. And this is why modern day marketing is the pinnacle of all marketing. And it's because the cycle is completely different. So you spend money on ads, you capture customer data, customers come in, customer loves your food, you capture their data when they're in the restaurant, and then instead of paying for new ads, you now have a list, a database of all the customers that have come into your restaurant from online ads, and now you can retarget and send text messages for little to nothing. And so it's building this base, just like in branding. It's building this following, it's curating this brand. Same with numbers and databases. In the nitty-gritty of marketing, it's building a list of people that love your product. And so that's what modern marketing has to offer, and it's an opportunity that a lot of business owners are jumping on because there is no need to dump money into your marketing every month anymore. All right, and so these are some examples in play of restaurants leveraging social media interaction points to push reservations and single points of contact on their customers. And so here you have somebody running an Instagram ad, and I'll show you later on a Facebook ad. And it's, hey, would you like some more information? And people can send a text message. Over here we have a call to action, a reservation call to action, and over here we have wine tickets. And all of these are great examples of your digital facing interaction with customers. And if you can curate these and curate a brand, you'll drive way more reservations to your restaurant. And if you're not generating reservations, you'll drive way more customers as a whole to your restaurant, because it is extremely important to have a good digital face on your business. All right, chatbots and automations. We talked about this. Basically, this is your connection point with your customers. If you don't have to respond and pick up the phone all day, it gives you a lot of time back. And on top of that, it gives your customers a better experience because they can message directly and receive information based on what your restaurant is offering that day or what things are going on in your restaurant, and allows them to choose things, order online. This is a huge portion of business. Most restaurants sell stuff online. And so it's extremely important to use chatbots and other automations to make that digital interaction faster, because at the end of the day, you reduce churn when a hungry customer isn't having to wait for food or isn't having to wait for you to pick up the phone and can immediately text you and your company and get a response. This is an automated mention system, and if you implement this in your restaurant, you will build a lot of social proof around your brand. And what it is basically asking people to tag your business. And then people obviously will tag your business because this is very intriguing, right? If a restaurant had this posted on the side of on the wall, or maybe you run a food truck and you want to get more customers to mention your company, then you could use this tactic. And on the back end, what happens is when people mention you on their story and at your company, the mention automatically sends them a coupon, or in some cases it could just be a thank you note and in other cases, it could be a free drink. And so this is a great way to drive engagement. And I think that not many businesses leverage this. And this is one point where you could significantly increase customer data input and also drive way more traffic to your social media. And so this is a great tactic, and you should definitely implement this in your business. QR codes and menus, we've all seen them. We all know them. A lot of restaurants are using them, and it's because you capture your customers' data. So when you scan a QR code and you ask them to give you their number and they give you their number to access the menu, then you now have their number and their name, and you can now retarget them to come back in on a separate day. And that's super, super valuable, and most restaurants should use QR codes that are linked to their CRM systems to create better customer experiences and get more customers in your databases. And this is how you manage it all, right? And so we talked about CRM systems. At Tulin, we offer a CRM system to our clients and to people who want to just try to build out their CRM system on their own. We're biased, of course, so if you want to use our CRM system, we'd love to help you out and set it up for you. But yeah, just to highlight it, it's your digital home. Talk to customers across multiple platforms, never miss a potential customer, and start giving people what they want and giving them faster interactions, because that's what drives great business. Reputation management. And you sometimes will wonder why some restaurants just have so many more reviews, and it's because they're triggering through their CRM systems automated review responses. And so basically it sends a personalized message after a diner eats and it says, hey, we'd love a review. If you could give us a Google review, Facebook review, Yelp review, whatever you want, or you can ask literally for anything. And usually through the power of reciprocation, guests will reciprocate because you've given them a great meal. And if you haven't, then you probably won't get very many good reviews, because people usually like to talk when things are not as good versus when things are good. But yeah, you can manage all your reputation, respond to reviews, super, super systematic and great for business. All right, long-term nurturing. This is an email campaign. These are two email campaigns, different in structuring. This one is an offer. This one is an exclusive event, so they're evoking scarcity. This one is just, it's a short-term, it's a limited offer, so they're evoking scarcity as well, but they're basically trying to drive customers in from their pre-existing databases and their lists. And here we have another one, which is an automated birthday message, which before I was talking about this on the beginning slide for reciprocation, but this is just one of the best ways to increase a customer and build a customer relationship. And it's sending them a personalized birthday message saying, come get free dessert. You get a customer in your store. And on top of that, you who doesn't want to support the restaurant that gives them a free birthday present? And so that's awesome. That is literally so awesome. And I think that a lot of restaurants would benefit from doing this. All right. So we've gone over how to use chatbots and automated CRM services. I know maybe some of you are like, oh my God, I want to learn how to do all this. And I'll be coming out with more videos in the future to cover that individually. But for right now, I'm just giving a high level overview of this stuff. And so let's continue on, because this is probably the most important section of this entire presentation. So change is inevitable. The marketing industry changes all the time. And what happens and what is happening is that a lot of people are left in the past. And so that creates great opportunity. And you will note that some companies thrive and some companies fall behind. And it's because they're changing. The companies that are thriving are changing with the times. And so if you are a restaurant owner and you're not thriving and you want to thrive, it's a great idea to start trying to innovate and change with the times, because you will be ahead of everyone else who isn't watching YouTube videos or thinking about marketing their restaurant and curating a digital presence, because they are still stuck in the past where they post every day and waste a bunch of time because they don't have a CRM system. And so this is one of the key points of this, and I'm going to explain to you how marketing affects your business. So I love this story. It's the story of the broken slot machine, and it's to basically sum it up. You imagine you go to Vegas and you find a broken slot machine, right? And for every dollar you put in, you get $2 back. And it sounds too good to be true, because imagine you could put $1 million and get $2 million back, but it's not. And guess what? There is a real world example of this. There is a broken slot machine that can be implemented into every business. And if you're a business owner, you should be leveraging this to its max potential, because it is amazing and has amazing effects. And so I'm going to just show you what it is. And basically, it's understanding return on ad spend and return on investment. And so let's say you put $5 to get a hungry customer in, and you spend $100 on ad spend. You get $50 when a customer comes into your restaurant, and you've spent $5. You see where the broken slot machine comes in? And now you're able to spend $5 to make $50. There it is. Your slot machine is even more broken than the one that I talked about you finding in Vegas. So you can build this into your business, and you are absolutely crazy if you're not doing this, because what it is leveraging the existing business you have and increasing your customer base many times over. And on top of that, guess what? You get their information. You get their names, their numbers added to your database. And so now you can remarket them and retarget them for almost free. It's very cheap to send text messages on the massive scale. And so the next page is on scaling the numbers. And what this is where I get really excited, because if you take the example on the last slide and you spent $25,000 in marketing, in ad spend budget, that would equate to $250,000 in sales. And even more astounding is 10,000 unique customer contacts that you can remarket to for cheaper than this initial ad spend. It will be, to market to, it'd probably be about $100. And so that's insane, right? You can talk to 10,000 customers that have come to your restaurant and enjoyed your food, and tell them to come back in just by spending $25,000. You know, that is so much value. And so if you want to scale your company and you're like a hungry entrepreneur, restaurant owner, this should be like alarm bells going off in your head, because what it means is that you can scale, you can build multiple locations because you know the numbers, right? And so if you know that you can spend $10,000 to make $100,000, or $25,000 to make $250,000, that is so fundamental in feeling secure when you want to scale. And so I talked to a restaurant owner yesterday, and they're like, how do I scale? And the number one thing is knowing your numbers, because at the end of the day, if you don't know your numbers and you're trying to scale, then the next month in your business is you're not sure what's happening, right? And so if you can project data, and this is why I love data, if you can project data outwards and understand that through marketing, your company will explode, and that your new location will be profitable because you know how to market your restaurant, then you can expand exponentially. And I think it's so important, and I hope that every restaurant owner does it. And I hope that if you are looking to do this, that you do it, because the opportunity has never been better. All right, some examples of ads. The anatomy of a killer ad. And you could literally copy this and throw it on. Obviously, I don't think pita is the best example. These people are giving away pita bowls. There's better ways to do this. Like, you could write, I think that crafting copy is important. And so if I was to write this ad, I would write it in as, come in with a friend and get 2 pita bowls, buy one and get one free. And then you get 2 customers instead of 1. But that's just like a sort of deeper level and understanding, having a good creative team behind your ads. But yeah, this is basically the anatomy of a killer ad. You have a call to action, headline, ad copy, ad creative. And usually when you're posting on social media and you find a piece of viral content, you can reuse that in your ads, and your ads will absolutely explode. So that's what we do a lot of the time, is we post on organic, try to get viral posts and then take those posts and run ads with them. All right, these are some other ones. Fat Cells, if you are a restaurant owner that is similar to this, they haven't curated an online social media presence as well as I would say that some other places have, but they definitely know how to market and create good creatives. And so you have this image, it really grabs the attention. And then you have this, which is evoking people to at Fat Sal's Deli and getting them to interact with their company online. And so this is a great way to build social proof and get people to buy your sandwiches or whatever you're selling. All right, getting more catering customers. I know we're deep in this. Hopefully there's a lot of value that you guys are getting, but just looking through this, I think that it is one of the fundamental aspects of marketing is letting your customers know that you actually sell the thing. And so many restaurants have catering services that aren't being marketed. And what happens is that nobody knows you have a catering service. And so this is where good marketing comes in. And this is where how you can show your customers that you also do catering, so that if they love their food with you guys, they also will probably love your catering. And continuing on with catering, you can build social proof by documenting events that you host. And so this is a great example of some images that are really evoking of this one shows social proof, lots of people enjoying food, great service. Each image has its own unique flair and evokes customer interest in your catering service. And this is where I kind of highlight on hiring videographers, which I think all restaurants should just have a videographer and a photographer on payroll all the time, because the amount of content that you can drive and the amount of value that you can give to your customers is so fundamental and will change the way that your business is forever if you do this. And so at Tulin, we manage and source all videographers for our clients. And that is sort of on our end, it helps us create content that is actually the best content for your restaurant. Because sometimes most restaurant owners don't know how to build or how to take amazing photography and shoot amazing culinary videos that actually tell stories. And so that's one of the features of our agency. Yeah. Hiring staff, getting the best talent. This one's unspoken, and I think that most people would benefit this. People come to you. It's important. If you have a good brand online, you will get the best talent because people want to associate with the best. That's the basic of it. You can run ads to get new talent. Let's say you have, and on top of that, more people will actually come in because they're social proof. Like, let's say you run an ad that says, hey, we're super busy, we need chefs and line cooks. The social proof behind it is that you're super busy, and a lot of people who aren't cooks but see that ad will actually start coming in. And that's a psychological rabbit hole, but that's how we run our ads for our restaurants, because it also brings customers in the door at the same time as getting new hires. Food influencers. We love food influencers. And so food influencers leverage their audiences for your company. And what we do at Tulin is we manage food influencers. We bring them out for content shoots, and we get you your money's worth when it comes to food influencers. A lot of restaurants will hire an influencer. They'll post. Their post won't get a lot of interaction, and it's sad to see, but in reality, we definitely like to put our influencers to work because they need some direction. They are good at shooting their own content. They're not good at shooting your content. And so if you don't bring a team and you don't have an agenda for the day, you're going to absolutely just throw away money into a food influencer. And so at Tulin, we help manage food influencers and all the content and things that go into them. All right. So we've pretty much made it through, and it's really exciting. Some next steps for you guys, our company and how it relates to you. Tulin Systems is our software, CRM and automations provider, and you can talk to us about all of this stuff in depth if you want to go through it. But web hosting and chatbot management is a pinnacle of the restaurant industry, and you should really start using it. And then Tulin, our main suite agency, we do everything for you, ground up digital design and curate a better experience for your customers. And our mission at Tulin, at both of our companies, is to create a better tomorrow by empowering restaurant owners to serve more guests today. And so if we can do that, we can get you more customers, we can get more people through your doors, and we can help you grow your business, and more people get great food and hear great stories and have a great time, because that is what success looks like to our company in the restaurant industry. And looking to the future, please go fill out the form below. We're really busy. We may not have spots right now, but we're here to help. And it's extremely important. If you're not doing 300K or more, we don't bring you into our agencies, because we know that we can't help you as much as we can bigger restaurant. We do offer you smaller guys more indirect coaching and CRM systems so that you can get to 300K and then come join our agency, because we'd love to help you and give you that in-depth, high-value service that we can give to clients that are doing over 300K in gross profit a year. And so that's how we qualify you guys. So if you're doing more than 300K a year in gross profit, we would love to work with you. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you. So congratulations. You're now a marketing expert. Well, you're problem aware. And so this is a competitive edge. Not a lot of people know this. Not a lot of people are taking the time to do this. I could sit here and tell you you're different, but you do know things that other people don't, and you should leverage those, because at the end of the day, you will be much more effective in your running your business, scaling, and doing whatever you want in your life. And maybe it's financial freedom or any of these things. Marketing can bring that to you, and I hope that you see these in the same light that I do. Thank you from our team here at Tulin. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your day. Become a leader in your industry. Choose to change. At Tulin, we believe one can always be better. Thank you.